So should we go
found dead.
from one crypto monolith to another? Um, what's this about a bronze statue of Elon Musk that actually looks nothing like him?
That's one aspect. There's a few different aspects of this statue. Doesn't look anything like him. People compared him to the Ronaldo statue. Have you seen the Ronaldo statue?
Is this
It's just
another
like
statue
this.
that doesn't look like Ronaldo?
Absolutely, and his like face is just very small on
Oh,
this slug-like
yes.
head, and that really doesn't look like Elon at all, does it? Let's be honest. It looks like a football player. It doesn't look like a football player, but God knows.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do think this was, and it basically the statue that's been erected in New York City to mark his 50th birthday has received a bit of a backlash on Twitter. But I think, to be honest, to burst the bubble on the story, I think it was just a marketing attempt by a company called public.com. And they've hidden, well, they've just not even hidden, they've erected a bunch, like 50 statues or something like that, a bunch of statues all over New York. And I honestly don't think it's not like a serious statue. It's not like the mayor of New York. Do they have do they have mayors of New York? Does that exist?
Yes, it does.
It wasn't like the mayor of New York commissioned this statue to celebrate Elon Musk. I think it's just a marketing stunt, which obviously the internet latched on. Well, I didn't even latch onto the marketing. They seem to think it's very, very real, but people are talking about peeing on it. People are talking about defacing it, and because obviously Elon Musk, you and I talk about him in a very light. We think of him quite highly, but there's another side of the internet that hates him, absolutely hates him. And I don't understand. I don't love him. I don't actually. No, I do kind of love him. Actually, I've dreams.
I think he's a sort of. He feels to me like someone like a modern day like Isambard Kingdom Brunel. Like someone who is credited with having done a hell of a lot of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like Brunel
You're just
built.
jealous. Is that what you're saying?
Well, Brunel built. Of the Victorian era, he built so much stuff, and Musk is kind of doing the same sort of thing. Because it's not even just like he's a Henry Ford type character, having created this huge monolith that is Tesla, but he's also gone and he's got the Boring Company, he's got SpaceX, he's as well as Tesla, so he feels like one of these. It's difficult. It's difficult to sort of put your finger on the sort of type of person he is, but he's an industrialist, and that's why I would compare him to someone like Brunel, who, of his era, built and created a hell of a lot of things, maybe not the greatest comparison, but he's we don't really have anyone like him around other than Bezos, who's kind of doing the same sort of thing. But it feels like it comes a lot more naturally to Elon Musk to do these sort of things. Whereas
There seems to be a common thread with Elon's ambitions that have a very positive, intention behind them, whereas Bezos just feels like a rich asshole.
well, I think like some of Branson's activities, he's been a little quieter, I suppose, in comparison to Musk recently. But think about Branson in the '90s when he was always hopping in a hot air balloon, and he had Virgin megastores at its height.
Oh, there he goes again in
And
a hot air balloon.
he was always, he was constantly crashing hot air balloons, wasn't he? And but then he's got his space thing as well, which I think he arguably started it before Bezos and Musk started their space things. But that sort of celebrity rich person, but they're as an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? They're a celebrity entrepreneur, and I quite like that. And I think you've got to for all of his faults, and these guys are nuts, all of them. They're totally off their rocker. But that's probably what allowed them to get to that point of having that much money and being able to do all these things themselves. Anyway, but they're good and bad. At least they push the envelope of what's possible.
I think it's not about it's never about what they do. It's more I look at why they do it. That's the thing. Like, yeah,
Mm.
Bezos did the space thing, and that's very ambitious and all the rest of it. But honestly, I just think he's not. I don't know. I don't have the highest opinion of Bezos and his actions. But why do you think so? Hang on, we were talking about why people love or hate these individuals. Why do you think people hate Musk? Then what are you saying that people hate about Musk, Musky boy?
Oh, I
Musky
don't.
boy.
I think he creates a lot of disruption. Specifically
Disruption.
with the crypto. I think there's a lot of people out there that
That is a
don't
bit
like
annoying.
electric cars. There's so much stuff out there. People just don't like his actions, and people. I think people. You always end up with people who are on. No matter who you are, people are going to like you and people are going to hate you.
Mhm.
You only have to look at, say,
Except me, of course. Except me, of course. What
you
a
only have to
wonderful
look at, say,
person.
like the thing that like for me, I see this quite a lot because I'm into Formula One. But like, if I'm looking at stuff to do with Lewis Hamilton, the amount of haters that guy has is
Hmm.
unbelievable. And at the same time, he has a whole load of people who absolutely love him, and I
Really?
just don't understand. I cannot
No.
understand how people hate him
I can't
at
understand
all.
why people love him, but I don't have any negative. He just seems like a nice person. Like,
Well, yeah, but also, his dad worked two jobs to make sure that he could race karts. He had the
expensive sport.
balls at age 12 to go and tell Ron Dennis, the owner of McLaren, that he wanted to drive his cars one day. Which got him sponsorship, and he's worked so goddamn hard. He's the only black person that's ever been in Formula One. And not only that, he is the most successful person that's ever been in Formula One.
Mm.
He does these amazing things around the world for veganism and for environmental sort of challenges. I just don't understand why people want to hate him. And, it's the same with Musk. Like, people will hate because, it's Taylor Swift, isn't it? Haters gonna hate.
Love that song.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just jealousy, but there we go. Anyway, old statue around New York, and go nuts, New York. Do what you will. There's obviously a troll. It's obviously a trolling thing from that public.com, whatever it's called. So,
So there you go.